Ashe, peace and benedictions. Peace, family. They on their bullshit. You know what I mean? Polydromic Puffery. You know, is it a coincidence that your man P Diddy got prosecuted today in his preliminary bullshit? They said that he got to go to court on May 5th, right? You know what I'm saying? And today is 10/10. You think that's a coincidence? I say peace and benedictions. Let's get into it, man. You know what I mean? Amongst all the other shit. And I think we might have we might have saved the day. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get to that later. We might have held off some of this bullshit with the hurricane. You know what I mean? I'll explain in a minute. But TD Bank is motherfucking. They got to pay the largest fine in U.S. history because these motherfuckers is washing money for the cartel on some Marty Bird shit. You know what I'm saying? And that make me think like, damn, they need to bring that Ozark. Maybe this is a preview to Ozark, the reboot. Ozark 3 or whatever. Season 4, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Wherever we left off at, you know what I mean? It's time to bring that joint back, you know what I mean? But let's go into this video. I'm trying to pull this video up, see if I got it. I wanted to go over this situation they was talking about with Puff. Now let me see if I got it, if it downloaded already. It should have. Okay, all right. It's not. Oh, there it is. It's right in front of
monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will put together any conditions possible in order to make sure that he is not a danger to society, as prosecutors claim. And they also spend a large portion of their brief saying he knew he was under investigation since January and had his attorneys reach out to prosecutors. He gave up his passport. He's been doing everything in his power to be cooperative. He came to New York to surrender himself. And this is not only a fair bail package, and he's been doing the right thing, but what they also suggest is the two judges who denied him bail previously, they were relying on unproven allegations from the prosecution. They're saying he was contacting witnesses, but there's not definitive proof of that. It was actually not as nefarious as they claim. There are people who are reaching out to him. It was regarding the civil lawsuits. So as this now takes its way to a second court, a higher court, what do you think?
Well, I thought the argument they made the first time they made it was an excellent one. I thought they overcame what is a statutory presumption in these type of cases. The problem they've got now, though, they're in a circuit court. And the circuit court is really going to be looking at whether or not there was an abuse of discretion. And there is a lot of discretion vested in the district court judges, the ones that ruled on this case, to make these kind of bail detention decisions that they make every day. And so while I think it's a really legitimate argument, and there's certainly circumstances that could be put in place that could protect everyone in this case and allow him to maintain his liberty, it's always a difficult task to overcome a district judge's finding on the issue of detention.
Yep. In other words, it wasn't so outside the realm of understanding why the judge did this, right? It's not like it made absolutely no sense. You take the government's allegations, you take the facts of this case, you take the weight of the evidence, you could say that the judge was justified, and that's really what you're looking at here. Now, I want to give everybody an update. As I mentioned, we're going to provide you updates throughout this hearing as it progresses, and we plan to stay here pretty much until this hearing's over, and even afterwards. So the hearing has officially started. Combs' new defense attorney, Anthony Rico, wanted to make it clear to the court that Mr. Combs' mother and his children traveled here from Florida and are seated behind me. Now, that's interesting because we talked earlier in the week, and by the way, to let everybody know, what you're seeing is the best any of us can do. There are no cameras allowed in that courtroom. This is not like a standard law and crime trial. I wish it was. I wish there were cameras in there, but federal courts, New York courts, they don't allow cameras in the courtroom. It's really a big disappointment. So we are going to do our best to relay to you in real time what's happening. And of course, as I mentioned, Elizabeth Milner's in there, and she'll come out later. So that's interesting that his family's there. Obviously, his family's there, but his mom, earlier this week, and we did a sidebar episode on this, released a statement. And she basically told the world, don't judge him, allow him to present his defense. But also she said, he lied. He lied. He lied when he said he had, didn't do anything. And then he apologizes for the Cassandra Ventura video. He lied. I thought it was very interesting his mom released that statement through her lawyer, of course.
And I think lying versus committing sex trafficking and RICO-type charges are two very different things. The law says you're innocent until proven guilty, and his mom being there could be a show.
This shit kind of suspect, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of things here. Like even when I heard on the news, they said, this is a case against him, doing things to women. And they specifically said women. And it's like, all right, this all stems from the Little Rod case, right? If I'm not mistaken. And, and basically how they were saying how Justin Bieber was being passed around like a blunt, how is this a situation that's only exclusive to women? You know what I mean? But, at the media, they're going to do what they do. That's just, you know what I'm saying? But, it's a lot of craftiness going on here. So let me see what's going on with this video. Because it actually just froze. I didn't even pause it. So I'm trying to see what's going on with it. Maybe if I move it around and shit, that should work or something. That joint fucked up. Alright, we're going to try to bring it in. Bring it back. Let me reload the site, because that's probably what's wrong with it. We got some bandwidth bedlam going on, you know what I mean, as usual, I'm down here trying to see if I got a good vantage point to catch these northern lights, you know what I mean. I'll be doing the stringer for the news. So I'm trying to get some footage that I can get paid for, you know what I mean. So let's try this again. I think that was like the 4 minute 25 mark or something.
Monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will put
something like that.
That my son is innocent of these indictment charges until he's proven.
Yeah.
And I'm going to support my son.
Yeah, I understand that. And look, she came out with that statement after the charges, after the civil lawsuits. And look, unfortunately, she's, I think, 84 years old.
And this John don't want to play. We got some fuckery going on. Hold up. Let's try something. See if we get a better connection. Alright, now try it. Technical difficulties.
Monitored by a third-party outside security via press coverage inside the courtroom. Would the video of the hearing be made public when the case is closed?
I couldn't agree more with the view that there ought to be access. The citizens have a right to see. They have a right to know. They want to see justice being made. And they don't have that opportunity in federal courts. We don't even have that opportunity in the state courts of Pennsylvania. And I know what the rules allow for. I know why those rules exist. But I think we're now at an age, a point in time in our nation's history, where our citizens require it. They want to be able to see it so they can believe it. And they want to have trust in the system. And I think that would give them at least some confidence that what they hear, what they read is what their eyes are telling them. So why not?
Yeah, and not everybody's able to read an article about what happened. To have that visual medium, to have a clip unedited and put in context, of course, would really help provide that transparency. And no, there's not going to be a copy of the video after the case. There will be transcripts. We can see transcripts. That's probably the best we'll get. Courtroom sketches, as we're seeing. Ava, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that as well.
I gotta try to get some better service or something. I ain't at the crib. I can't use my Wi-Fi, so I gotta try to figure something else out. All right, let's try something. All right. Maybe that'll work. The bars went up a little bit. Got some better lighting. All right, let's see what we got here. It went up a little bit, then it went back down. Maybe I'm too close to the building. This building is probably... I am kind of semi in the middle of nowhere because I was trying to get away from these buildings. So I got a good vantage point for these northern lights that we're supposed to be seeing. And they talking about a geomagnetic storm that's supposed to be coming. Not like the one that was back in May. What a coincidence, right? But we had one back in May. We having one now, and your man Puff is being sent to court in May. You know what I'm saying? See how they play with the shit. The court system. And all that. We're gonna get into some gematria and some numbers in a minute. I wanted to play this video as a kind of preliminary thing, right? Pun intended. But that John just don't want to play, So move forward. Hopefully that don't happen again. Man, struggle streaming. You know what I'm saying? But normally I would be at the crib. You know what I mean, on my Wi-Fi. But down here trying to get this footage. I don't know how long. They say this shit's supposed to happen before 3. Still don't see nothing, but they saying that it's gonna be like sporadic, So I'm gonna try to get some live footage maybe, but I definitely want to record something so I can upload it and get paid for it. So, you know what I mean? Let me get my slide up here. Start to go in on some of this slide. Damn. All right. So yeah, this is what I'm waiting for this Northern Light shit. You know what I mean? Northern Light shit is supposed to be, showing some pretty spectacular things, sight to see. You know what I mean? All of this shit going on, and these people be getting a ritual sacrifice on and whatever other kind of rituals they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Especially for Sam Hayen, You know, that shit's coming up, and that's like the Super Bowl for these, you know, these Satanists. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just crazy that a lot of this shit is just going on. I guess, you know, you could say in some respect in their favor. You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, they got this shit out there. You know, what we got right here. So this is the CME shit, the coronal mass injection. You know, see how they played with the polydromic situation. Hold on. Scenes have been created for it.
New text message from Pope.
This nigga just try to call me. Just come in the room. Let me text this nigga real quick. What the hell is wrong with you? I sent you the link, and you gonna call me. But anyway, you know, you see the polydromic layout. You know, of course, Octo is 8. You know, just how we did the video on the 8th. So we coming back on the 10th. You know, to pick up, you know, part 2 of this polydromic situation. You know what I mean? So you know they getting they rituals on, right? Now the thing is this. All right, you got the possibility that, you know, these things just line up, you know, on some larger than life, you know, spiritual type time, right? And you know, these people who plotted this shit, you know, just like our ancestors plotted the stars and, you know, all of that, and picked up on the code, and you know, this shit is just all lining up, and they using this energy to ride certain waves, or so to speak, right? That's one thing. Or on some ritualistic type time, right? They could be using a little technology that they got to do certain things, or to make it seem like certain things is happening, right? They could be knocking people off. They, you know, they could be using playing the harp. You know what I'm saying? Doing all kind of crafty shit with that, and telling us like, yeah, it's gonna be some Northern Lights showing tonight, right? And it could be them fucking with shit. You know, you got people out there talking about it's 2 suns and the moon is fake and the Earth is flat, and you know CERN is making black holes, and you know is holes in the Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all kind of theories out there. You know, so man, I don't put nothing past these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of craftiness out there. Let me get
What's good with you?
let me get the camera right. Hold up. Nah, shit. I was trying to be on point with the polydromic situation. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's 10-10, you know. Just like them tens on your dollar on the $10 bill. You know, I wanted to look into that too. When did they come up with that new $10 bill? But you know, that's another side note. But you know what I mean? I'm down here to try to catch these Northern Lights. You know what I mean? This shit. You know, supposed to be looking something like this. You know what I mean? So they're saying that it should be visible from Philadelphia. You know, matter of fact, let me go back and show you the joint. So this is like the where it's supposed to be visible at. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can see that. You can see that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you know, we right in the belt. So I'm trying to I try to position myself in a nice, you know, vantage point that I can get some good footage and, you know, get paid for it. You know what I mean? So
Right. So what
we
time is it supposed to come through?
um they said from like 10 to like 3 in the morning, you know. And you know, a
Right.
lot of that shit is possibly like some ritual type shit, you know, or the shit could be set up around astrological events. You know, it's an either or thing. You know, they could have created this shit, or it could just be natural, and they just, you know, it just so happened to have this whole polydromic, you know, facet to it. You know what I mean? or factor to it, right? And you know, we out here. We out here to try to see if we can catch that shit. You know what I mean? So if I do catch it, I'm gonna try to put it up on the stream, so we can see, get the northern lights. But I'm also gonna record the footage on my other phone. You know what I'm saying? So I can sell it. You know what I mean? So I gotta sit here for a little bit. You know what I mean? See what's going on. But while we doing that, we shooting the shit. I was gonna go. I was trying to see what's up with this P Diddy situation. You know what I'm saying? Um, they always wondered, like, the court dates. They be sending people to court, on some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Certain dates just be lining up, and it'd be like, damn, like, is this shit just a coincidence? Like some spooky Ouija board, spiritual type shit? Like, what's going on here? And it'd be like, no, they using that shit. They using that code. They using them rituals. You know what I'm saying? To have people come to court and trials start and end on certain days for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Now, we just had to pick up on what is the reason. Do it have something to do when you're born? Is they reading your natal chart or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with that shit? What's going on with the ceremonial bullshit? You know what I mean? The Polydromic prosecution. You know that shit is suspect. You know what I mean? So, while we waiting for this shit right here, we going just cover the current events and all that. I said, my man, we got some bandwidth bedlam going on, some struggle streaming, because it is what it is. You know what I mean? Maybe we got too much shit going. Let me get some of these browser things off of the browser in the background. Maybe I got too many browsers open or too much stuff in the background open or something. Or his shit just might be fucked up. Where he at? I don't know. I'm not quite sure how this shit works. But I try to close out everything when I'm on the stream, just to hope I get the best, results, so to speak. So yeah, we gonna see if we can catch some of that footage. You know what I mean? So all right, this is Florida right here. You know, we was going over some shit about North Carolina the other day, and also Florida, right? And these are the different areas where they may do some 15-minute city type shit. Your man Bill Gates, he got a lot of property down there, right? So when you think about, all right, when these people have these ideas or these agendas, right, about 15-minute cities, revamping the area, doing shit over, and things are still in place. Like, well, you think, well, how would you get rid of it? How would you start over? How would you destroy and rebuild? How would you make order out of chaos? You got to do something to clear the landscape so you can rebuild, right? So when these motherfuckers rebuild, and they rebuild some shit that didn't look like it used to look, and it's like, oh, this is a better way. They can convince you, that it's some good shit. But then it's like, all right, a lot of the whole 15 minutes city situation is centered around not driving. Like, when my man Pope get back on, he can point out some of that shit that's already happened over in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Where they like phasing out like whole car lanes, where it's just like bike lanes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the lane for the bus and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know, they had the idea for the smart cities and the smart growth program, and blocking off certain places and saying that people can't live here no more. They've been talking about that stuff for like the past 20 years or more. We covered it a couple times too. We got the receipts. We got to get into rebroadcasting some of these old videos and chopping them up. Because like you said, they like Senate bills. Sometimes they be too long. There's too much shit in there. So we gotta maybe we might start using some of these AI features. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big fan of AI, but I've been hearing that in this new age, that's a tool that you want to be able to master and use because it can help you to get some bread or help you to keep your job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like speaking a different language. If you bilingual, you know what I'm saying, they might need you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go through the rest of this slide. But we're gonna get back to some of this, some of the things that we talked about in regards to Florida. We got some video footage, but let's go through this slide. So what we got here? We got 300 million people living in America with only 6,000. What is it? I can't see past the logo. For the unconstitutional. Oh, okay. So they're talking about the real ID, and it was supposed to be. I remember when they were saying that the real ID was supposed to be coming in 2020. Then the Blovid, Kenneth Copeland virus shit happened, and I guess they had to push it back to what is they saying 2025. 2027. My fault. So 2027 is when they're saying that they want this real ID operational, possibly. Let's finish reading. You only have until October 15th to submit a public comment as to why you oppose a real ID. Okay, so I'm assuming that these 6,000 people that they're talking about are opposed to it, or maybe they for it. Not quite sure. But we had to look into that. I did. And all the shit that happened, I forgot all about the fucking real ID shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why they like holding people up from getting passports and shit, like, because they want you to get the real ID shit. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what that is. But we'll come back to that. All right, what we got here? Biderman's chart for correlation. What is this? My man Pope sent me this, so I didn't get the proper context. I don't know what. Maybe he having some technical issues back there. I don't know where he at. No, he not even there. Um, we'll come back to that too. But Cash App, they're saying that something wrong with Cash App again. Now, couple months ago, we talked about Cash App and telling people to sign up. For the they did some crafty shit basically, and they were saying that people was entitled to like 2,500, right? I signed up for the shit. I still ain't get no 2,500, but that's what they said, you know what I mean? Periodically, we go through the class action lawsuit website and pull up some things that we think some people might like, but just in your own free time, go to classaction.org and see whatever kind of lawsuits or there's free bread out there. Like I went on there once or twice. I probably got, I would say to date, maybe like 200, maybe 250, something like that. Because there's all kind of stuff like, all right, like for instance, they might have a class action lawsuit for like Google or fucking ginger ale not using real ginger, like crazy shit like that. Like what I'm saying. So but yeah, we talked about that, the class action lawsuit with Cash App, but now he's saying, Cash App is, I guess, back in the news. It seemed like some of these companies is getting knocked off. Maybe they might be getting targeted intentionally. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I mean? Cash App users can get direct payment worth 2,500 from 15 million data breach settlement just file one claim. So yeah, we did that, right? And if you just new to this, then I wish I still had that link. I got it somewhere, but we had posted the link. But you can just pretty much do a Google search on this and it should come up. If you haven't done this already, you know what I mean. Cash App owe you some bread possibly. I can't tell you if they do owe you some bread. I don't really know actually what the context is. You know, I just kind of took a shot in the dark. Like, shit, I got Cash App. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So, but if it's a data breach, then I would assume that. Let me check. See, I don't see no Northern Light shit. Trying to make sure I ain't missing the shit. You know what I mean? Because that's why I'm down here. But if it's a data breach and you got Cash App, then your data might have got breached and they might have sold your data or somebody else got a hold of your data. So, yeah, sign up for that shit. You know what I mean? So, all right, I know part of this slide got some gematria in it, and we're gonna jump into that. So, now right here is the duration of days. We like to pay attention to duration of days in between events, right? And you should too. We try to do that more often. Aside from trying to keep a hold on a lot of other this shit going on. But today is August. I mean, I always mix up August and October. Because of the 8th. But you know what I mean. But this is October 10th, right? 10/10 symbolism, right? Your man Puff, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, or whatever you want to call him, he goes to court today, right? And like, the people say, we want this case, prosecuted as soon as possible, right? You know what I'm saying? So they say, okay, so we bring him into court on October 10th, right? Okay, they talking about they talking about the TD shit. I wanted to check the radio real quick. They talking about the TD Bank shit, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. But okay, so they drag this dude into court, right? So this is a span of 207 days. They're saying that he got to go back to court on Cinco de Mayo, right? 10/10 to 5/5, right? 207 days. So remember I told y'all in gematria that the zero is silent. We might have to coin that phrase, right? So in gematria the zero is silent. So you know before we get into this, I always like to say how many times is a coincidence possible before it's mathematically impossible. You know what I mean? So so is it just a coincidence that virtually every time that we fuck with these numbers, doing this ritual practice of coding numbers in the word, the alphanumeric coding system of gematria or gematria, depending on who you're asking, you know. But the sacras, they put the Pfizer on, they take the sacra off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But either way, they doing something with these numbers, right? Because there's too many coincidences. When you're a detective, you're not allowed to believe in coincidence. So how many times is coincidence possible before it's mathematically impossible, right? So every time we do these numbers, right, this should just so happen to connect, right? And that's the thing that you want to understand, because some people will say, "Oh well, it's just a coincidence," right? So, all right, let's go through here, right? Now, remember we told you about the number 42, right? Now, it's a clip. We played the clip I think the last video where um, a lot of people from watching that clip about Puff talking about numbers and secret sciences and shit like that he had just learned about gematria. You know what I'm saying? And I replied to that to say that, well, they already know about these things because they had to do a lot of different ritual practices by these numbers, right? You know what I'm saying? And even the powers that shouldn't be even give these people certain names for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That lines up with this alphanumeric coding system. So we showed you many times about the 49, the 4259 symbolism, that's stamped on black people in a negative way. Using this alphanumeric coding system right here. Once again, here we go. Puff Daddy equals 42. Just like Martin apartment number is 42. Just like Jackie Robinson is 42. Like the Black Panther Tank Brigade. It's just like 1942. The Black Panther movie that sold 420 million in the first week. So what I'm saying? Like, even how they say black women are 42% more likely to develop breast cancer than white women, right? Because of course, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So they drop these little hints on you, but because they don't teach you this, and they would assume that you are oblivious to this, because arrogance breeds ignorance. And they just flaunt these different numbers in your face, all in their statistics and shit like that. And essentially you can't even trust the statistics that you see nowadays because they are interwoven with, some, ritual type shit, basically. You know what I mean? So here we are with this nigga's name. My fault. This ninja's name just so happened to equal 42. Now, remember that they said his mom gave him this name because he used to get so angry, like, he used to get so angry and he would puff up with anger, and it would say, yeah, he's puffy, and that became his name, Puffy. You know what I mean? So then, I guess at some point in time, it turned to Puff Daddy, right? And not quite sure what the daddy would represent. You know, Are we have some origin story on what the puff means, right? Or the puffy means, right? So puff would be short for puffy. But I don't know about the daddy part, right? Now, of course, that dude, he's into calling, men daddy and shit like that. And, and that was the thing in NY for, I guess, for a little time or whatever. Not quite sure how that picked up without, coming off a little zesty or sassy, but you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But Puff Daddy, you know what I'm saying, just so happened to equal 42. So you think is it outside the realm of reality that just like when the warlocks came to Mr. Combs here, or Puff Daddy, right? And he shortened their name to the Locks to say, okay, yeah, your name gonna be the Locks, right? And when you think about that, just before I continue, when these people tell you about their origin stories and their names and shit like that, how they got this name and all that, it's possible that or those stories are complete bullshit, right? Just like for Kamala Harris to tell you that she grew up in a middle class home, we probably some of the first people to put out that her mom, was doing oncology, breakthrough breast cancer research. This is breast cancer awareness month. And she was doing that, at a time when women wasn't really in the medical field like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can't tell you how much she was getting paid, but we did look up how much somebody who does that kind of work gets paid, and it's not middle class. You know, you're not like struggling to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Especially when, you know, you got, you know, Candace Owens, you know, shout out to Candace Owens, you know, pulling all these different receipts about her family and showing that even without that job in oncology, her family on both sides is rich, you know. So, you know, even from her own account, her telling you, yeah, I would go to Madras in the summertime, you know. Black people don't go to Madras in the summertime. We go down south, and sometimes we can't even do that, you know, because we got shit that we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Seem like shit always get real around the summertime, right? But okay, let's go through here. So all right, again here, Puff Daddy, right? 402, and again, remember we told, and this is satanic gematria, and of course there's different forms of uh gematria, but and of course in satanic gematria, it revolves around the six. You know what I'm saying? Just like the six god, you know. But 402, you know what I'm saying? Satanic gematria. You know, how many times is a coincidence possible before it's mathematically impossible? And of course we know that your man P. Diddy or Puff Daddy or Sean Combs, right? He changed at some point in time, he said, yo, I want you to call me P. Diddy, right? Now, it's a lot of different numbers that connect with that. Like, and it's a lot of also different numbers that connect with Puff Daddy, like 33 and 117 and 303, right? And of course, we know those are signatures of the people who walk on black and white floors and hide behind blue doors and red doors. And, you know, they're not doing nice things behind those red doors, you know, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if you think that a Diddy party is crazy, man, oh man, you know, but here we have P Diddy that equals 1010. So is it just a coincidence that P Diddy equals 1010 and Sean Combs was brought to court on October 10th? Y'all think that's a coincidence? How many times is a coincidence possible before it's what? Mathematically impossible, right? And we've been doing this enough. And there's a lot of other people that's doing this in greater, more detail. You know what I'm saying? You know, because they got time to focus on it and they get paid and all that, right? And we got to sit out here and stake out fucking skylines, you know, to make ends meet, you know, but you know, whatever. But you know, it's a lot of receipts out here that push the envelope into the realm of mathematically impossible. You know, it's mathematically impossible that all these things would just keep adding up. All these different things that they tell us in the news, right? 1010, P Diddy. You know, now they said that. Now here's a stretch here. You know, people be like, "Man, you're reaching." You know, but you're reaching for research. You know, what are you reaching for? You know, donuts and ho hos and you know, Cavassier or Ciroc. You know, depends on what you're reaching for. You know, you're reaching for books, or you reaching for library cards, or are you reaching for press passes, right? You know, there's a lot of things you could be reaching for, right? But we're gonna reach here into the realm of gematria and probabilities at this point. So so they say that you know your man he got to go to court on May 5th, right? May 5th, 2025, right? May 5th, 2025. Get my little magic wine ready. Um, so May 5th, 2025. What does that mean? Well, in that date, there's three fives in there, right? And you know, your man Sean Combs, right? Who's you know, because Puff Daddy, you know, might have did those things, but Sean Combs had to pay for them, right? Sean Combs equals 53 among other numbers, right? And is it just a coincidence that he has to go to court on a date that has 3 5s in it? Maybe. Hey, man, you're reaching, man. Possibly. But you can't explain away to all the other coincidences, that cooperative incidences that cohesively connect, with each other, right? You can't explain away those, Of course, like how we always see this number peppered throughout, all the different publications, right? 117, right? 117 is in the house. Once again, to delete this message, press 7. To save it, press 9. Here we go again with Sean Combs equaling 27. So his stage name equals 27, and his real name equals 27. I guess that's a coincidence too, right? That's a coincidence too. So again, now this would be like kind of the reverse, because in gematria the 0 is silent. So the 207, because of course it wouldn't be you going to court in 27 days, right? So the 207 would represent the 27, possibly. Could I be wrong? Hey, we just factor in some facts, because a fact is a factor, and you have to factor that into the equation. You know what I'm saying? And you can't finish it unless you factor it in, right? So we got to factor this in. Sean Combs equals 525, right? And he would be going to court in the 5th month of 2025, right? I guess that's a coincidence too, right? Yeah, I'm reaching, right? I'm reaching to connect these dots that, feeble-minded intellect is not capable of, So we asking you to have some discernment, to practice critical thought, to know where the ledge is, right? So there it is. That's the end of my slide, right? So I want to get back into some video footage, some video clips rather. Hopefully I got enough data or whatever. Maybe they slow down my data. They tell me I use too much data. So maybe that's what it is. Let me see if I can bum some Wi-Fi off somebody. Well, it would have to be some free Wi-Fi. Yes, some of these Wi-Fi they don't let you do certain things, because it's like somebody's workplace. So maybe they wouldn't let me stream on here. But so let me let me try to double back with this video. Let me try to play the video I tried to play earlier. I'll try it again. I don't want to give up on it. So let me try to play that, and if it don't play again, we just going to
Monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will
Could really impede on that right.
Brian, I want to give you an update about what's happening in court. Literally what we just talked about, the speedy trial. So the judge said the defense requested a trial in April or May of 2025. The judge says they can give them either month, and the judge offered May 5th. The defense said they will take May 5th, and the government says its case will take 3 weeks. Do you imagine this really happening in May of 2025? Less than a year after he was arrested and indicted?
It's unbelievable. It would really be the absolute unusual situation with the representations made about the amount of discovery in this case. But I get it. And, they have an obligation to not only protect Mr. Combs, but to see to his wishes. And what he wants is his liberty. Now, if there's a determination, I can assure you, by the circuit court that he's going to be released, they may want to punt this case until maybe 2 years from now.
Right.
But while he's in custody, I can assure you they're going to be pushing for that May trial date. And guess what? This judge is basically saying, you want it? I'll give it to you. But don't come crying to me, 4 months from now if it's not working for your schedule. So, interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm of the opinion, and I will back this up any day.
Mm-hmm. It's frozen again. Well, I'm glad that the video showed enough to prove the point, or rather to help it to resonate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the powers that should be is helping me. But StreamYard is on some bullshit. That's a whole nother you know what I'm saying, situation. You know, I should have enough bars that I can play this clip. Let me try to refresh my page. This is really annoying, StreamYard. Y'all fucking me up. All right, let's try this here. I want to cut this. I think this VPN might be fucking me up too. Yeah, I'm gonna try to take that off real quick. See if we can get a better connection. There's a lot of talk about that or not. People say you don't even. But I guess. All right, now let's see if we can get a better connection. We got to troubleshoot on the.
TD Bank created an environment that allowed financial crime to flourish. By making its services convenient for criminals, it became one. Today, TD Bank became the largest bank in U.S. history to plead guilty to Bank Secrecy Act program failures, and the first bank in history to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. This is also the largest ever penalty under the Bank Secrecy Act, and the first time the Justice Department has assessed a daily fine against a bank. As part of the plea agreement, TD Bank will fundamentally restructure its corporate compliant program at its U.S.-based bank, which is the 10th largest in the United States. The bank has also agreed to the imposition of a 3-year monitorship and a 5-year term of probation. While the bank has started its remediation, it will continue to remediate and improve its anti-money laundering compliance program to ensure that the bank operates lawfully and safely moving forward. Federal anti-money laundering laws are designed to prevent criminals from using U.S. banks to fuel their crimes. Our laws dictate that the narcotics traffickers who flood our communities with deadly drugs cannot use American financial institutions to move their money. And our anti-money laundering laws dictate that a bank that willfully fails to protect against criminal schemes is also a criminal. That is what TD Bank was, because it failed to maintain an adequate anti-money laundering program between January 2014 and October 2023. Over a 6-year period, TD Bank failed to monitor $18.3 trillion in customer activity. As TD Bank admitted in its plea agreement, this allowed 3 money laundering networks to transfer over $670 million through TD Bank accounts. TD Bank created
take y'all money out of Cash App. Ever since the owner died, they been on some fucking bullshit. The other day I checked my account. I'm trying to send my daughter some money for lunch. Can't even send it because my motherfucking account is closed. Mind you, account got thousands of dollars in it. I done had this motherfucking account through Cash App for years. I don't do no scamming shit. All right, I'm trying to cash the money that's in the account out to another account. It's saying like, oh, you can't do it unless you've had a card linked up to this account before, in which I didn't. Okay, so I called them. I verified myself. I'm like, okay, you know what's going on? Oh, for security purposes, we can't tell you. You just violated terms and conditions, but we can't tell you what terms and conditions. Okay, so what is my option? Oh, your only option is to appeal. Okay, so what exactly am I appealing? They can't tell me exactly what I'm appealing. I asked them, okay, so if I appeal and I lose the appeal, what's gonna happen? Your account stay closed. Y'all, I swear to God, why the fuck did I get off the phone with them and my motherfucking account was zero? I logged out, logged back in, and it said the account not found. Take your money out of Cash App. Like, bro.
We actually are aware of what's going on, and I wrote about a lot of this in my book, The Controlled Demolition of the American Empire, about how they're going to be destroying the West, and they're doing it now. What happened there in North Carolina is basically World War III. Not only sending that hurricane up there, flooding out the areas where they want to put in lithium mines, which BlackRock wants to put in, which is run by Larry Fink, who happens to be Jewish again. But not only that, they also blew up a massive chemical factory in North Carolina. If anyone looked at the damage there, they would say this is a massive attack being done on it. But your average person, your average NPC, your television watcher, people who've been drinking fluoride and injecting themselves with aluminum and being chemtrailed with aluminum and being 12 years of government indoctrination camps, can't see it, and they just repeat what they see on the television, that these were all just, accidents and things like that. This is World War III happening right now, but it's not what everyone thinks it is. Everyone thinks it's supposed to be Russia or China is going to attack the U.S. It's the globalists that are attacking basically most places on Earth, but definitely the West as well. And Mexico as well, because Mexico hasn't gone along with a lot of the globalist things that they want. They didn't go along with the COVIDs. They didn't make one law for that. They didn't allow GMO, but just yesterday, surprise, surprise, Mexico's got a new president. Her name's Scheinbaum. She happens to be Jewish. It's unbelievable, but all just coincidences, I'm sure. It was a category 3 that hit out of nowhere. Again, no one knew it was coming. This is unheard of. And this one was even incredibly different in the terms that it was a category 3. It came in, it hit Acapulco, it did a lot of damage. It fizzled out, and everyone thought it was over. But then it went back out into the ocean and turned into a hurricane again and hit Acapulco again, dropping over a meter of water in a couple of days on Acapulco with unbelievable floods, like whitewater rafting, although it was brown water rafting in the entire city of Acapulco. It's still
So wait a minute,
a lot
wait
of
a
it's
minute.
underwater.
You're saying that this thing was coming in and then it just stopped because it wasn't very strong. It turned around. It like did a 180, it gained more strength, and then it did another 180 and turned back around and slammed into Mexico? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what happened. And meteorologists are, again, amazed and shocked at how this could happen. They've never seen anything like that happen before.
Completely baffled. Yeah, they have no idea how any of this could happen. They're just completely shocked and baffled.
Yeah, it's the exact same sort of a thing. And this is for people out there who have still not caught on that the globalists and whatever you want to call them, the Jews, the globalists, whatever you want to call them, the CIA, all these people, they
Yeah, the
have this
Jews.
technology and they are using it full force now in so many different ways. And Acapulco is the perfect example of how they've been doing this. There's never been a Category 5 that's erupted out of nowhere with no warning and hit a major city before. And then a Category 3 that hit, fizzled out, went back on the ocean and hit again and flooded the entire city. For people who want to look into weather weapons and things like that, Acapulco should be the #1 thing they'd be looking at, because it's now been hit by 3 hurricanes in less than a year, but one was the same one, which has also never happened. And meteorologists, again, were saying, we've never seen this happen.
What's going on, everybody? Some information that I just want to pass along, give to you guys about FEMA, because a lot of people don't understand how FEMA operates. So FEMA provides training for things that they see on the near future. They use predictive modeling, threat assessment, following trends to look at possible scenarios that might be coming up. This year, the first 3 scenarios that they're offering to emergency managers like myself in these virtual tabletop exercises is infrastructure blackouts, social unrest, and mass casualty, mass shooter incidents specifically focused around malls. So, given that information, I would highly recommend you to think about your planning processes, your systems, and how you're just going to conduct yourself in terms of one of those 3 or more occurring in your daily life. Something to think about, something to keep in mind when you see FEMA putting information out over themselves. What's going on, everybody? Some information that I just want to pass along, give to you guys about FEMA, because a lot of people don't understand how FEMA operates. So FEMA provides training for things that they see on the near future. They use predictive modeling,
unbelievable calm before the storm. It's actually sunny. God, we need a miracle. Maybe this is your sign that we'll get it.
Bombing case, huge cover-up. Jack Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. Bobby Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. World Trade Center, huge cover-up. Okay, terrorism. They're using it as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and our civil liberties.
Jaguar can't get right. You know the people is roasting you. What the hell you doing on no cracker show? Child, this is a dumb bitch alert. Jaguar can't get right. Jaguar, you know what? You want to be so smart and act so dumb, Jaguar. You really should have went up there and beat DJ Glass. He is not for the people. I don't know why you niggas keep going on that motherfucking cracker show acting like he love y'all and like y'all and appreciate y'all coming. Any nigga that go on Valan's show is hiding through, and we, the people, don't fuck with you. Just like that cracker don't fuck with us. He is not for the people. How you think you gonna know everything but didn't know that Jaguar can't get right? The person you should have been roasted was Valad and goddamn that other cracker. Where he from? England, London? Sitting on the cracker's platform, space the fuck not looking like you just hit that shit. You know you're not well enough to be speaking for the people. This is the case of mind blown and gone. Let's talk about it all. Nigga people versus Jaguar. I don't know how to get right or be right. Gag order. Your space got delayed ass is being charged with being a dummy bitch. Gag order. Doing the Tyler Thru interview with a saltine cracker who doesn't like black people talking about the same bullshit that's half truth, half false, half batshit crazy like your motherfucking ass. Actually really believing your own lies and stories after all these fucking years that only sounded good to you in your motherfucking head because we sick and we tired of it. Go to keep regurgitating all this tired ass tea that's been told over and over again. Getting drugged and fucked at the parties and your mind ain't came back. Now you're here. Gaggo, you still talking about it. Being big mad because after you were used and abused, Gaggo, you were no longer invited to the motherfucking party. Doing anything to stay relevant and get a coin and you still broke it in the motherfucker stealing you all. Suing your son and with a woodpecker because you ain't got no fucking coin or a dollar either. He told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Gaggo to end that order. Not telling Piers Morgan, fuck you, Gaggo, from you and Meghan and Harry. Gaggo, that's what you should have motherfucking said. Thinking the lad gave two fucks about you when he don't, Gaggo, he can't stand niggas at all, for real. I don't know why y'all keep going and running to his platform like some slave ass niggas running a master, Gaggo. So you's a dummy bitch and you can go straight to motherfucking hell because we already know you was at the parties and got drugged and your mind ain't never came back here and you want to tell what happened, but you ain't been invited in a long time and we don't want to motherfucking hear Jaguar can't get right. You slick so crazy ass motherfucking bitch. You stay out of order. Let's talk about it. Word on the curve, Jaguar can't get right. We spotted out here in these streets looking and sounding the whole fucking food on some saltine crackers platform and the people are gagging. And we said, what the fuck you doing up there, Jaguar? You do not represent the people, speak for the people. And if you don't go take your medications and get in that padded room and locked in that chair, you better. I might as well interview Shamar or Orlando Brown. Child, you mean to tell me out of all the interviews you could have done, you decided to go on Piers Morgan? the nigga neighbor cracker who doesn't like black folks, but your ass is talking to him like you know all the motherfucking tea and you want to respect master. Thank you for having me, girl. No, ma'am. Child, boo, bye. Gag order. Wasn't you the one who was crying a few years ago, hollering about Clive Davis forgot to kill you, bitch, and didn't have people to slit your tires? But your bald-headed asses out here in these streets still alive with all that bullshit you've been saying and doing all these years with some truth, and 90% of it is motherfucking lies because ain't nobody trying to kill you because everybody know that your brain is mush, you falling and you can't get up. I guess all that baby oil cocaine got you still crazy, and more motherfucking crazy. Now, where was the story about you getting sexually assaulted, drugged, beat, and, you know, dragged all through the parties? Do you have any video evidence? Child, boo, is what we the people say. The Illuminati say, bitch, you didn't even sell enough records to be invited to any elite party, so you don't know none of us. Gag order. And if we was there, you were only there serving drinks. Gag order, and it was out the front door. You went, and we motherfucking gag. They say you weren't never pretty enough to want to do no threesomes or foursomes with Gag order and our house. Oh, and behold, say if she's a monster, you're a gargoyle, bitch, and a fucking peasant, and she don't give a fuck about you. Who the fuck are you? Fuck you, bitch. Child, Jay said if you don't suck another sick dick, you better and leave him the fuck alone. He got the feds to worry about. Bitch, if Diddy didn't get the feds to knock on his door to ask questions, it would have been off with your motherfucking big ass head. Off with your head, let you tell it. Child, ain't nobody killed you. Your son trying to wish you was dead and kill you over there with him.
I am the best in the world at what I
have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls. This is power. Nobody can touch me. This voice, this is power.
There is nobody that eats, sleeps, or breathes this business more than me.
You're not as good as I am.
I'm the best.
You're not as good as me. I never had to call myself the best in the world. Other people said it for me.
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
I am part of a special I am one of a literal dying breed.
Everything I have, I've fought for and I've
care
earned.
what the hierarchy thought of us.
I wouldn't have 5 years of pent-up ammunition to unload on him. I wouldn't have so much to say.
And yeah, I got a bad attitude and a bad reputation.
I tend to piss a lot of people off.
But I didn't give a damn. And yeah, I developed a chip on my shoulder because I knew I was the best. I am the best in the world at what I do.
Do I have everybody's attention now?